Hello fellow designers, my name is Karen Gwynn. I'm the owner of Karen Gwynn Customs, also known as KGC. I posted not too long ago that I was going to start selling sewing patterns, starting off with a prom gown pattern, and it is ready to go today. This is the first of many patterns in my line that I'm going to be selling. And not only am I selling a pattern, but I also came up with a tool that I'm going to be selling specifically for fashion designers that's going to help you stay organized, grow your business, be more productive, as well as storing your sewing patterns. So it's a lot of helpful things all in one, and it comes in this little package here. So I'm just going to unpack this and show you guys what is inside. It's a planner. So the planner is a mini binder. It holds half sheets of paper, so not 8.5 by 11, but 8.5 by 5.5. The ones that I have are assorted, so some of them are gonna come with this plastic covering so you can insert what you want to insert, and some of them are just gonna be this plain black that don't have the plastic covering on them. So I'm gonna go ahead and just flip through so y'all can see what all is included. Once you open up the planner, you're going to have 5 tabs. You have the business tab, goals, calendar, sketches, and patterns. Once you open up the business tab, you have kind of a landing page for your business information. And I forgot to mention that every planner is going to come with a Sharpie. The Sharpie is going to be instrumental in the use of this planner because there are a lot of pages that are laminated. So sometimes plans change, or some of the pages I just wanted them to be super durable, so they're laminated and you can actually write on them with a Sharpie or a dry erase marker. However, I prefer a Sharpie because it's gonna stay on there until you forcefully take it off, either with hand sanitizer or you write over it with a dry erase marker and then purposely erase it. So anyways, on the first page, you're gonna write down your business information. You're gonna write down the business name, your mission statement, as well as what you specialize in. On the next page, you have a starting price reference sheet. And I think writing down what your starting price is important because it helps you remember not to lowball yourself when you're giving quotes to clients. Also here, I have a little tool that's going to help you with calculating pricing for items. So over here, you have your material costs. Here you have your base profit plus extra time. So base profit is what you absolutely have to make in profit off of an item. Your extra time is additional things, just such as sewing in horsehair or doing hand sewn appliques. So you're going to add those 2 amounts up and then you'll come out with your final price. Down here, we also have some lines where you can write down your starting prices for different garments that you offer. For example, you might write prom dress starts at $650, wedding dress starts at $1,000, so on and so forth. Next is a little tool that I came up with to track your social media activity. So this is a social media habit tracker, and there is a little tracker for every single month going from August 2019 all the way to July 2020. And what you do is every time you post on your Instagram or Facebook, you put a little check box, a little check mark in the box for that date. So like today is August the 21st. So if I post today, I'm going to put a little check mark here under the 21st. Also over here, you have a place for you to write down your hashtags that bring good traffic to your social media page. It's double-sided, so you got plenty of space to write down all the hashtags that you want to use. And I think this is a good tool because it's going to hold you accountable. A lot of us get all of our business from Instagram and Facebook, and then sometimes we wonder why we're not getting enough business. Maybe it's because we're not posting enough. So if I get to the end of August and I see that I've only checked off like 4 or 5 boxes, but there was 30 days in August, that's a problem. So I know moving into September, I need to be a little bit more diligent about the posting that I do. All right. So next, this is a garment order tracker. And this is something that I came up with during my prom 2019 season. So that was my third season doing prom. My first time doing prom was prom 2016. I only did 3 dresses, so it really wasn't a lot for me to keep up with. Prom 2018, however, I did 9 dresses. And I took a lot of orders that I shouldn't have because I didn't have time to do all of them. But when you're talking with clients, you're not always really thinking about how much you have on your plate. So I came up with this tracker so that I can see what I'm working on and where I am with everything. So here, and I actually used this for prom 2019. I did a total of 11 dresses and everything was a success and I didn't run myself crazy. So here you're going to write down your client's information. Over here you're going to write down their consultation date and put a check mark when the consultation has been completed. Here you're going to write down, I can't see. You're going to write down what their deposit amount is. You will check off when it was paid, and then you'll write the full price there so you can remember how much you're charging that person. Over here, you're going to scribble down whatever materials you need to purchase for the outfit. Over here, you're going to check off when you have purchased your materials. And I put this in because sometimes I get so busy. A client might send me a deposit and I get so busy and I keep saying, oh, I'm going to order it. And then before I know it, it's been like 10 days or something and they're coming for a fitting like next weekend and I haven't ordered it. So that box is very important to me. If you want to use it for something else, you can just white it out and put a different title on there. Here I put the pattern created checkbox because I do a different pattern for every client that I have. But again, if you want to use the check boxes for something else, just white it out and put something else there. Fabric cut and prepped. Say for example, you are doing lace appliques on a dress and you bought beaded lace, like 2 yards of it, but you need to cut it all out. That's going to go in with your fabric cut and prepped box. Fitting date, you're going to put the date for their fitting there and you put a check mark when they have completed their fitting. And then here you're going to check off when the outfit is done. Over here, you're going to put the due date, check off when the item has been picked up. And then here you're going to write the event date. And it's important to keep up with that because then you will know when the client's going to actually be wearing your garment. And you'll know that you can go look on their social media and get photos, or you can contact them and ask them for photos so that you can post your work on your page. And there are enough pages in here to do like 100 orders, I believe. Something to point out, this is only for people that have paid you a consultation fee. Do not write down people that have just been in your inbox going back and forth asking you questions that haven't given you any money, okay? Next section is the goals section. And this is pretty cool, I think. In here, you have your revenue tracker. So here, you need to write down how much money that you're aiming to make from your business between 2019 and the end of 2020. Or actually middle of 2020, because this goes from August 2019 all the way to July of 2020. So it's going to track 12 months. So every month, once the month has ended, you're going to write down the amount of money that you made. And at the bottom, you're going to add all those amounts up and write down how much you made over a 12-month period. That's important because that gives you an opportunity to reflect and see if you met your goal, if you fell short of your goal. It gives you an opportunity to think about what you can do differently to improve on that business income. Now next, you have 3 goal tracker sheets. And again, these are laminated so you can write on them, you can erase, and you can make new goals if need be. So this one is for this month goals. This is where you're going to write down goals that can be accomplished in the next 30 days. And I think for these things, you should stick with 5 goals because you want to not overwhelm yourself, but you want to also write down things that are attainable and things that are going to be beneficial to your business. Next, you have 2020 goals. Here, you're going to write down things that you want to accomplish by the end of 2020. And then here you have your long-term goals. So these are not necessarily things that you're planning to accomplish within the next year or so, but it might be 5 years from now. It might be 10 years from now. For myself, for example, on my long-term goals, I'm going to write down that I want to own a bridal shop. So that's the goals section. Moving along, you get to the calendar section. And the first part you have is your monthly calendar. So here you're going to write down what month it is. So for me, I'm going to write down August 2019. And for every box, you need to write down really small what the date is. And this is something else that I used during prom 2019 because I work a full-time job, so I can't necessarily complete a whole entire gown in one day. I have to do bits and pieces here and there when I have time for it. So for example, if I have a gown, I know I have different steps, like I have to cut the fabric out. Well, first I have to go to the fabric store. 2, I have to cut the fabric out. I have to make my pattern. I have to hand sew appliques. So all of those different steps, I'm going to figure out when I can do them, and I'm going to plot them down on my calendar. So as I get filled up with orders, when people start asking me, hey, I'm interested in getting a dress, can you take another order? I can look at my calendar and see if I'm booked or not. That's how I know when I'm booked, is when my calendar is full and I don't have any more free time to devote to somebody else's dress. So there are enough of these monthly calendars in here to get through 12 months. Next, you have another little dry erase sheet, which is going to be your top 5 priorities and your to-do items for the week. And then down here, you have a place where you can write down notes. And on the back is your fabric store shopping list. So every time you come up with some new item that you need to buy, maybe you ran out of needles, you can write down needles there. Maybe you need to have elastic for your next project, you're gonna write that there. If you met with a client and she gave you a deposit, you need to write down those items there. So if you go to the fabric store, you can actually take this with you and remember everything that you need to purchase. Next over here is your weekly calendar, and I use this in the same way that I use my monthly calendar, except there's more space so I can write down more details. For example, I know if I have a client schedule on Sunday at 3, I can write that client's information down there. I can write down the name of the garment they're getting, so on and so forth. Another important thing that I included here is this week's wins, and I put that there because I think as entrepreneurs, a lot of times we have so much on our plate that we don't necessarily think we accomplished a lot. So I think at the end of every week, it's important to look back and say, I did this really well, or I succeeded at this, so that we can take that positive energy into the next week, and that's going to help us with being more productive. And there are 52 of these, so it's going to take you through a full entire year. Next section is the sketches section. So once you open that, I actually included a template for some croquis. And I put that in there because a lot of us have trouble with drawing the human body. When we need to do sketches, we might have trouble drawing the person. So the template's right here, and you can draw over this with a marker, or, and I have a landscape version too, or you can just take this and trace it onto blank paper and use that as a starting point to sketch out your garment. So there are about, I think, like 20 or so sheets of blank paper in here. That can be used for whatever you want. You can use it to trace croquis and sketch out outfits. You can use it to take notes on a consultation. You can use it to plan out a collection. Whatever you want to do, you can do that here. The last and most fun section is the pattern section. Now, when you open this, this planner does come with one pattern, but I am going to be releasing others. And I store all my patterns in sheet protectors, so that's what this one comes in. And on the front, you can see here's the title, 4-yard mermaid gown with gudets. And yes, this gown can be created with 4 yards. It does include sizes for extra small all the way through extra large, and all of them can be completed with 4 yards of fabric. A lot of us are trying to figure out how to maximize our income, and we can do that by spending less money on fabric. If a client comes to you asking for a mermaid gown, they don't necessarily have a preference between having a knee seam or not having a knee seam. Having the knee seam might be easier for some people because we all know how to do a circle skirt, but it's not easier on our pockets because you have to have a lot of fabric to achieve that circle skirt. So with the gudets, you actually can use less fabric, and I'm showing you how to do that in this pattern. Also back here, you have a section called About the Pattern. It's telling you what kind of fabric you need to use. If you use 4-way stretch, you're good. If you use 2-way stretch, you probably need to add some darts, so your pattern might needs to be a little bit longer or wider. And then down here, you have a size chart So it's going to tell you the measurements for each size. This is a size chart that I came up with. I think it's a lot more realistic than a lot of the size charts that are out there right now. And down here, this tells the links of the pattern. So the top pattern from shoulder to waist is 16 inches. Length from waist to hip is 8 inches, so on and so forth. So if you're customizing the pattern for a certain client who's maybe like really short or really tall, you can make those changes based on these numbers here. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull the pattern out so y'all can see what's included. And these are not just templates. These are full-blown patterns. So once you open this up, you have your actual pattern folded up on paper. And then in here, you have full page, full color instructions with photos on how to construct this dress. It is a little bit lengthy. If you are a beginner, it's going to be really helpful. If you're a more experienced designer and you're just like tinkering, getting into making gowns, you can kind of skim through this because you'll kind of be able to figure it out. So these are the pattern pieces. So there is a collar. This is the collar piece. You can see it says cut 1 on fold. The collar is the same for extra small through extra large. Next, you have your top bodice piece. And in the interest of saving space, I created this so you can actually use one pattern for both the front and the back of the dress. So here you can see you have the keyhole shape. And here it says fold back for front pieces. So when you cut out your front pieces, you're actually just going to fold the pattern back on the dotted line and make room for your collar. And then here you can see this says fold back for to cut back pieces. So when you cut your back pieces out, you don't need this extra seam allowance here. And you can see these are the different sizes: extra small, small, medium, large, extra large. So when you get ready to make different sizes, you just lay this down, put it on some tracing paper, and you can trace whatever size you need, so you don't have to cut this original. You just keep that for future references. And then next is your keyhole piece, which you're just going to use see-through mesh for, or illusion mesh, or whatever you prefer. If you want to forego the keyhole, all you have to do is cut this straight down and don't worry about the cutout. The next piece you have is the biggest piece, and it's quite a lot of paper, but I thought it was important to include this because it makes things a little bit easier than just using, oh, do your skirt pattern and then do your circle skirt. This makes it easy for you. So all you're going to do is unfold this. And be careful unfolding it because it is paper. It's good quality, thick paper, but if you are not gentle with it, you could rip it. Okay, so this is the mermaid gown pattern. So starting up here, you have the skirt. And then moving down here is where it begins to flare out. And here's the whole thing here. And you can see at the bottom, well, it might be hard to tell, but at the bottom, it doesn't go straight across. It kind of curves up because it is in the image of a circle skirt. It's just not a circle skirt, but it doesn't go straight across, which really helps with the shape. And then last but not least is the Godet pattern. If you're not familiar with what a godet is, it's just like a triangular piece of fabric that you insert in your skirt to make it wider. So this is going to help us stay within that 4-yard fabric limit. So this is the godet, and you can see the bottom of this is curved as well. And for this, you need 4 of these, or if you're able to cut the fabric on the fold, just depending on how you place your pattern pieces, then you can cut 2 on the fold. And the godet is the same size from extra small all the way to extra large. So you can just cut this out on the fabric. You don't have to trace any special pattern size. So that's it for the planner / pattern release. And the planner is a package deal. It's going to come with the gown pattern, and it's going to be a total of $32. That does include your shipping costs, and it will be shipped by USPS with a tracking number in this lovely gold envelope. I will also be releasing more patterns. I'm trying to find it. The second pattern I'm going to be releasing is this high waist biker short pattern. These are ready to go as well, and I'll be posting the information for this in a couple of days. So that's it. I do want to turn this whole planner thing into a thing. Like, I want us to talk about our successes every week. I want us to talk about our goals. I want us to talk about how we managed our time. I want us to talk about how we managed our clients, things like that. So I do have 9 planners ready to go. If you purchase today, you can purchase by Cash App. You purchase today, it's going to be shipped out tomorrow. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me or comment below. Thank you.